This is going to be a walkthrough of my level that I've been calling the Ivy Falls incident. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So I start by using a tool that isn't explicitly level designed, but this Ivy Falls Dam, 26 days since the incident, sort of splash when it starts, setting up the mystery of the situation. Continuing that by putting the player in what should be familiar and sort of cozy environments of a gift shop, showing it sort of distressed, the lighting here, and then of course highlighting our eventual goal up there, and suggesting that things aren't quite as they should be with this upturned thing here. And then even continuing that theme, a sort of makeshift barricade here, right beyond a point that says authorized employees only. Okay, what's going beyond there? Going on beyond there, gonna have the player use their telekinesis ability, interact with the environment, and then sort of immediately feel that they've transitioned into a new kind of space as we bring them into this lab part that constitutes most of the level. So not only do we have the security checkpoint letting us know, well, this is very different than the gift shop front-facing face of this place, but also there's something clearly wrong with this red light and these pipes that seem to be holding a door open on their own. Those hopefully grab the player's interest, follow them along this corridor, and come into this room where once again we highlight another landmark that we want the player to head towards, which is where there will eventually be this generator that they turn on. Turning around, they spot this scene. The first sort of victim of this creature that we'll get to see much more of later, a secretary just sitting at their desk getting sort of their energy taken out by this pipe right here. This is a scene that the player will return to, so I wanted to make sure it was lit, grabbed attention, central in the room. And then, as we carry on, we have this nice sort of reveal set up right here. There were other agents sent in before us to deal with the situation here, but the creature's gotten to them. They're all fully paralyzed here. And then the main reveal, the creature itself, the thing that this whole dam was set up to contain, is right in front of us. So hopefully this should be the player's sort of main target, draw their attention, bring them right to this console down here. If we go to it, facility on reserve power, please proceed to generator to reactivate console. And I provide a little map that should guide their eyes up there. And if not, just sort of looking around, hopefully the nearest point of interest should be this door up here. So if the player does proceed to this door right up here, they'll find, okay, locked door, blinking red light, this sort of something here. Maybe we can do something about it so we can get through here and open that generator that was being talked about. Of course, we have increasingly more of these various sort of incapacitated agents surrounding the room. And then this place over here, clearly different from the wall around it, drawing in the player's interest, even sort of pointed to by this row of incapacitated agents here. So hopefully the player navigates their way over there. And this is a space that will eventually be used for combat as well, but it doubles nicely with sort of various paths to move around here. And the very observant player might be able to say, perhaps as I'm walking around this space, I can sort of note the various locations that these enemies are in and prepare my sort of tactics for an upcoming fight that I can see coming, because I am such an observant player. Then as they proceed in here, get to use a little bit of telekinetically powered platforming to make it up here, continuing in. So we see, a room that's gotten quite a bit more wrecked up in here as the creature's sort of powers have made this turbine get completely out of whack. We descend into the room a little bit, what would hopefully be rushing water in a more final version, and then, object for us to use our telekinetic powers on. This is a little battery that will show its usefulness in just a little moment. As we sort of turn around from our one way up here back towards where we came from, thinking, what can I use this tool for? Well, there's a console much like the one we saw on the door before, and indeed we see that it even opens the door. How nice. Well, now we've got a battery that can open the door, but it closes again. So this is just a brief little puzzle to keep the player on their toes, let them use their little telekinesis powers a bit extra as they move through the level. They have to go in through the door, leaving the battery in, and then telekinesis it to themselves as they make it to the other side. Then we can have a little fun here in the space, dashing forward to the door that we've been aiming for, and indeed placing the battery right where it belonged and making our way into the next room. And we're back. We're live, and it's good. Action. So, in this next room, once again reminding the player of the destruction wrought on this facility by the creature at the center of it all, reminding them of what it was they came here for, seeing this thing ripped to bits, and then giving a chance to move into a slightly different environment, avoiding hopefully the fatigue of the dam environment over and over and over again. So now we get to make our way outside, see the dam in all its glory, and do just a little bit of platforming. Very little to say here, just sort of a scenic little diversion from the main course of the level, giving a chance also to look back at some of the environments we saw before, see the destruction from the outside. And then finally we get to turn on our generator. Watch this. Oh, okay. Quite a bit of action activated by us hitting the button, starting the generator. The creature seems to have a negative response to that. The floor drops below us, and we drop down, and then we're funneled back into a room that we might know quite well here with the destroyed roof pointing at the generator and this scene that we saw before. What could have changed in response to what happened? We had that shake, we had that feeling that something was responding to us. So what's now going on in this room? Oh, where before we had the captured guy here, there's now an armed man waiting for us. So the time has come to fight. Now going to get into combat. Generally very little intelligent to say while fighting, so I'll mostly stay quiet as this is happening. Let the space speak for itself. Essential here was sort of providing the player the opportunity to get in cover from most places, a uninterrupted flow as they move through, always a feeling of having somewhere new to go, especially as I wanted to replicate the combat from Control in the ways that I think it's best, which is when it can be this high-octane, quick, fluid thing, and I replicated this mechanic of the health orbs dropping from defeated enemies to constantly sort of propel the player forward, have them use their advantage in mobility against enemies that would sort of otherwise take them over and damage them. But we had this console that before was locked off by these wriggling pipes and glowing red. It's now glowing white, inviting us in. And indeed, if we come in and interact with it, the lift activates and we slowly approach the creature at the center of it all. And here is where the time budget entirely runs out. Make epic moral choice about the fate of powerful yet childlike psychic entity. Shall we take it out once and for all, or unplug it and set it free? That's all I have for right now. Thank you very much for watching.